It's Wednesday night. It's 8 o'clock. It must be time for Fast Turn Radio. So here we are once again. Everybody's together, having fun. How many people we got? What are we up to? We got 27 people right now. Barrington's probably still going. Everybody comes in after Barrington's show. So I don't blame you guys a bit for listening to him first and take your time. You know, we just kind of shoot the breeze for the first few minutes anyhow. So Darla just sent me a message. That's funny. She said I didn't hear anything. That's good. She can hear what's going on before I ever go live, so I'm never sure what she hears and what she doesn't. But let's just be happy she didn't hear. So what's going on, people? Hopefully everybody had a great week. Again, lots of sales. Sorry about that question. I'm new. Aaron. Yeah, no problem. We can delete those kind of questions. It's all right. Just for those that are new, little camera button that is right here is if you want to come on camera, and anybody is welcome to come on camera if you would like to. We can sit here and have a little one-on-one. If you have a question, it goes down just below the camera part. And if you would like to chat and just talk with your fellow Spreecast watchers, listeners, whatever, it's right over here. You can chat all day long. And if you want to vote things up or down, you can do that with the little arrows that are on the left-hand side. Vote questions up or down. I'll take them in the order as I read them. So totally up to you guys what we talk about, what questions get asked first, and where the conversation goes. I do have a few topics in mind tonight. Going to talk about some changes with FBA. Not FBA. I shouldn't say FBA. Some changes with Amazon. Some of the things that they're doing. Not sure how it's going to affect business, if at all. It's coming up time for long-term storage fees, so we'll talk about that. We, let's see, got to talk about the Spreecast changes that may or may not be coming. We're not sure what's going to happen with Spreecast, so we will definitely touch on that, get your guys' opinions. I'll talk about business in general. I think there were a couple other things I had in mind. Maybe they'll come to me as we start talking. Maybe Darla can refresh my memory. I don't know. I told her what I planned on talking about, but I don't know. We'll just roll with it. All right, we're up to 45 people. Hope everybody's doing great. I know I am. I got to tell you, sales have been through the roof for me personally lately, and it's incredible to watch. So I'm excited to finally get back to selling. Basically taking the last couple of months off of May and June and started to crank it up again in July. And all that effort is starting to bear fruit as Amazon flips are getting in and getting sold. Wholesale that is just taking off and booming. Placed a wholesale order with a company about a week ago. It came in about a week ago. So I ordered it. It took a week to get here, and I got it shipped off to Amazon. All that took place over the last 2 weeks. And then sales took off so rapidly, I had to place another replacement order. And this is not a low minimum quantity thing. This is the one where Michael Flanagan said, hey, don't go too deep too fast, even though everything looks great. Ask for a deal. Maybe they'll give you a break and not really hold you to the minimum order quantities. And they absolutely did. I took his advice. I was able to get those lower quantities, and things have turned out differently than I expected, but in some ways better, some ways not as well, but overall couldn't be happier. So that's why it's good to kind of test the waters, whether you're talking about retail arbitrage or wholesaling. The only one that it's tough to test the waters with is one-offs with clearance or some kind of special, whether it's online or in a store. There are times where you're kind of held to the short window where this big discount's coming in. That it's tough to it's tough to test. But if you have the ability to test with off-the-shelf items or with liquidation items like Big Lots, they may have 100 or something. While that may be a limited time sale, you don't necessarily want to go buy 100. You can MF a few of them. You can actually send a few in, and you're going to know within 3 or 4 days whether or not it's a good item. You can go back and probably get most of what you left on the shelf. So, you can even test the discount stores or test over time. Buy all that they have at Home Goods and get all those salad spinners or mandolin slicers at Home Goods, send those in, and then if that bears fruit, then you go over to TJ Maxx or Marshall's and you buy all that they have. So there are always ways to test, and you can even track your ranks and watch this category at this rank and apply that same rank in that same category to a whole nother, a whole nother product. So you haven't necessarily tested that other product that you found, but you are very familiar with the ranks and how it should perform. So your testing's kind of been done for you. And I think that's a big difference in newer sellers versus more experienced sellers versus just expert sellers. And that is understanding that a rank and the Amazon situation, the number of sellers, you start to put all that together, and you can analyze a buy in a heartbeat and know whether or not you should buy 5 of them, 10 of them, or 100 of them. I mean, I bought 64 of something the other day just blind. I saw the deal, saw the numbers, and I said, yeah, send those to me because I want all that I can get my hands on. I've never sold this product. I've never touched this product, but I saw it. It's there. And, when you're dealing with a sub 2,000 toy, that's going to sell pretty well. And I'm not worried about getting hung out to dry on it. It's just you start to know how this stuff works. Sherry Smith, Paw is in those boxes. Yeah, I got lots of Paw Patrol that are selling right now. That's a big part of what's made my week so great. Yeah, the Nerfs. No, I've only sold one Nerf. That was on eBay. I've actually jacked up the prices on my Nerf, and I know I'm just going to hang on to those. Unless something happens where I need cash, which may because my car just died. I'm not going to worry about selling those out. But, yeah, the poor little Jetta. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of the Jetta, but the timing chain went on it. When that went, the pistons hit the head or something, the timing that it's supposed to make sure regulates. Didn't regulate so well. So I have some bent pistons and a messed up head, and on a $1,500 car, I think it's the end of the Jetta. And yes, Bob Willie, you did. You heard me say Duane Malek is doing a somewhat long-term hold, at least for me, and I will be doing some Q4 pricing, not trying to dump inventory right now, unless I need to replace that Jetta. Then just hang on to your pants, because man, I might just do a fire sale on everything and start over. Who knows? Yeah, that's right. And Michelle Jones says, I'm sure there's another Dave car out there waiting for you somewhere. Yeah, my father-in-law and I were talking about it. He's like, you need a van anyway. I said, yeah, but it's tough to find a $2,000 van. He just laughed and rolled his eyes. He said, $2,000, I said, yeah, it's a little beater van. What do I want a nice van for? We got my wife's car. It's a good, dependable car. So, yeah, and I've been on Craigslist, so I'm looking. The options are open, but this is not. It might be more than $2,000, but it's not going to be new, I promise. So that's a little bit sad. Something I haven't had to deal with for years. And Teresa Rose says, are you going to pay cash for a new to you used car? I bet you could find a good deal. Yeah, Teresa Rose, I am a Dave Ramsey nut, as I've said many times. So, yes, I promise you I will be paying cash for this car. There is no way I would take out a loan or any kind of lease or any of that kind of junk. Yeah, this will definitely. Oh, Sherry Smith says eBay cars. That's a good idea. So we'll see how that all turns out, but that's been a little bit of a pain. So right now I'm borrowing someone else's car. Not completely happy about that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. All right. Zipcar. Yeah, I don't think they have Zipcar. Isn't that like you buy it or you kind of rent somebody else's car or something? Yeah, Michelle Jones, bet if you could hold off till Q4, you could get yourself a really nice one. Michelle, that was actually my plan. I had the whole plan laid out. What I was going to do was drive my car until the end of the year. Hopefully have an amazing Q4 and take part of the profits on that, buy my wife a new car. Not new, but much newer than what she has now. And I was going to take her car. That was kind of the plan. It was all set. And now, things changed. So I might have to just spend a couple $1,000, maybe a little bit more, and kind of get that in between car that'll last me a little while. Yeah, Murphy sure did. He came and stuck it right to us. Yeah, the Ford Transit, that'd be nice. I gotta be able to put the kids in it though, so I can't really go with the Transit. But I do like those. They're cool little looking sourcing vehicles. Michael Flanagan's getting the Transit van, so that's cool. All right. So anyway, that's that. That's life in a nutshell. Lots of wholesale, lots of Amazon flips, lots of money coming in, lots of money going out apparently because I got to buy a stinking car. And okay, so the Spreecast thing. Let's talk about that for a second. Spreecast kind of dropped a bombshell on all of us today, somewhere around noon this morning, and it was posted in my coaching group. Is Maureen Benner. She actually called me while I was talking to somebody about my poor dead car, and said, "Hey, what's going on with Spreecast?" And I said, I thought she was talking about the $130 a month deal that we're already doing. And somebody in the coaching group had asked, what effect is the new fee structure going to have on your Spreecast? And I said, oh, none at all. Well, this was all before Maureen called me, and I actually read the email that says, as of August 12th, essentially the same Spreecast format that I have right now that I'm paying $130 for, that we all kind of went, oh my God, $130 a month, seriously? Yeah, well, it's going to be $200. So, that's $200 a month that's kind of pricey, So I'm not sure. I really, I love Spreecast, and that's what this picture is. Let me put this up on screen. One of the reasons I'm such a diehard with Spreecast is this right here. Okay, you guys, I don't know. You can move it around if you want to. Okay, if you Google Spreecast, my name comes up first, right after Spreecast. And if you do it, I did it just a few minutes ago, and actually Chris Green comes up just after my name, and then Google Hangouts comes up after that. But that's a platform that you guys know to find me on. It's one that I've been consistently on since, November? No, I might have not been consistent since November. I think right around the first of the year. So for the last 7 months, I've missed exactly one Wednesday when I didn't have a Spreecast. You guys know I'm going to be here. People Google search Spreecast Duane Malek. So it's hard for me just to it's hard for me to just walk away from the platform. I mean, it's where I've kind of built my following. I was actually talking. I'm going to name drop, I guess, for a second. You guys might have heard of Nancy Alexander, the Nancy Alexander. I was talking with her a little bit earlier, and she said, you've got quite a following. I said, no, not really, but I keep hearing that. So let's just go with that for a second, okay? I have built up a following on Spreecast, and you guys know to find me here. What I'm afraid of is if I move platforms, I'm not sure that I move the audience with me. So, do we continue to pay for Spreecast? Do we not? Do we move the platform? So, yeah, Michael Flanagan, you say that, but you would be amazed how many people send me a private message and say, hey, I found you on Spreecast. Love your Spreecast. Thanks for the ad, or thanks for adding me as a friend. Thanks for adding me to the group. So it's a little tough. Contact Spreecast and ask for a long-term discount due to your SEO on Google, and that you bring them clients. That could be too. Maybe I'll try that way just to see what happens. Hey guys, there's the proof. Well, there's the proof. Chris Green, I assure you, is bringing you an audience. The only reason I'm on Spreecast is because Chris told me back at CES in November, get on Spreecast. You just need to start it. You'll be amazed. You'll build up a following. People will find you there. They'll watch. They'll tune in. So now I've got one. Maureen's got one. Barrington. Bob Willie, I know you were doing one for a little while. I looked for it the other day and couldn't find it. But and Charlene Anderson says, Duane, I Googled it and I got totally different results. All right. Just to let you guys know, I did not snap this picture. Somebody posted that in Scan Power, so that's not me tooting my own horn. It was kind of a joke, and I just thought it was kind of humorous. So whether you get the same results or not, the fact is, when somebody puts in the search, it's there. So anyway, okay, Bob says I'm on hiatus for the summer. Cool. No problem, man. I was just looking for your show. I was like, I hadn't listened to Bob in a while. Well, you see, it's been a few months since I listened to Bob because I didn't know you were on a hiatus, man. I was looking for you. But that's kind of where I'm at. That's what I'm thinking with the Spreecast. I'm trying to figure it out. Now, one option is, hey, do you guys want to pay for me to be on Spreecast? I think the answer is probably a resounding no. If I made my Spreecast, and I've talked about this before, if I made my Spreecast pay-per-view, my audience would go from their 67 right here to about 5, if I was lucky. I doubt people are actually going to pay for me to be on Spreecast. So while it did cross my mind, I don't see that as a viable option. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not happy. It kind of got blindsided by this, but we'll work through it. And if I have to change platforms, I will. If we decide to eat the $200, maybe. Yeah, and pay-per-view Spreecast, they take a third. So, if I made a $5 Spreecast, $1.50 of that's going to go to Spreecast just to set it up. And yeah, there's some other platforms, but I love the interaction of Spreecast. I really do. Everyone knows that I'm here. It's very easy to use. It's not like Hangouts. One of my problems with Hangouts is you got to download the separate software. People have a hard time installing it sometimes. It doesn't always connect right. It's hard to find the party that you want to talk to. And it's just, I don't know. I used it for a while. Oh, okay. And Bob says he's been talking to them several times today. They don't seem to care. And that could be the case. Maybe they're just up for dollars, man. At some point they probably have to start turning a profit. The CEO was also the co-founder, I believe, of StubHub. So it's not like he doesn't know how to make money. Dude's run a successful business, and I guess this is just the natural progression. Once people know who you are, time to start charging, time to start turning a profit. So I don't blame them for what they're doing. I just don't know that I'm in a position where I can afford to continue to pay the bill. So who knows? So something. I promise you, something will happen. Whether it looks the same to you guys, whether it's behind the scenes, whether I just eat the cost, I don't know. It'll be taken care of, and I will keep you in the loop as to what goes on going forward. But right now, it's all too new. But I did want to, and there is no guarantee. That's an excellent point, Michael. What if those of us that are paying 50 or 100 or 150 right now just decide we don't want to pay the 200? Well, if enough people jump ship, the ones left behind would still have to pick up the slack. So yeah, it's possible that the prices go up again. It's a mess. It's a little bit of a mess. It's not a huge mess, but it's a little bit. I don't have a big budget that allows me to just slough off a couple $100 a month. That's a couple $100 that means something to me in my business. But we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. Just want to make you guys aware. And I do appreciate all the different websites that you've thrown out there. And Craig McIntosh is showing easywebinarplugin.com. I've never heard of that. So GoToMeeting more expensive? No, actually, GoToMeeting is what we all thought was out. Not we all. A lot of us that looked at these different platforms thought GoToMeeting was outlandishly priced at $99 a month. That's when we could get on Spreecast for free. And then, Spreecast went to this 130 that includes unlimited downloads. So it's not just, and that includes private Spreecast and unlimited downloads. That's where their fee structure came in. And now what it is, I guess I should have said this, it could still be free, we could still do it for free. What I wouldn't get is downloads of the show, and the archive would only last for 7 days. So those of you that attend live would not see any change, but anyone that wanted to go back and view it later only has 7 days to do so, and there would be no long-term replays. Oh, yeah, and if you guys just want to come to the house on Wednesday nights, that's an excellent point. Robert Watson, brilliant. I wish I would have thought of that. If you guys just fly in on Wednesday nights, all get together right here in my office. You can see the behind-the-scenes stuff that I don't show you, because you always see stuff back there. All the good stuff's actually over there. That's a little-known secret. I can't take you any around-the-room stuff because I got too much wholesale secrets sitting in here. Yeah, pizza and beer. On me. Wait a minute. If I'm buying the pizza and beer, I might as well pay for the Spreecast because I'm pretty sure it'd be a whole lot more expensive, but more fun. Yeah. So anyhow, yeah. See, perspective. There you go. Adobe Connect, another option. Never heard of Adobe Connect. Jason Brown, fast turns around the bonfire. That's right. We'll sing Kumbaya and all that good stuff. Craig McIntosh, I didn't know you were in Scotland. Dude, that's so cool. I've had somebody from Ireland tell me that they were watching. Scotland, England. Julie Peterson is in England. Or, excuse me, Peters. Dude, we got like the whole UK covered. Isn't there another little country, I think? I'll show my ignorance for a second. I want to say there's another Wales or something in Wales, part of the UK. So, yeah, we need to find somebody in Wales to tune in. Well, Craig, if you could just make a short trip and tune in and say, "Hey, I'm in Wales," then we'd have all the UK. So that's cool. Thanks, man. I truly do appreciate you watching. I appreciate everyone that watches. It just blows me away when somebody pops in and I'm in Scotland watching. That's freaking cool, man. It really is. All right, enough about that. Let's get on to something that matters. Yeah, get the Scots and English together. There's a war. Yeah, we'll have them play a soccer game in the backyard. Let's see how that goes. I heard you guys get pretty excited about that stuff. So, yeah. All right. All right. Long-term storage fees. Let's jump into that for a second. Long-term storage fees are coming up on August 15th, I believe. Somebody can double-check that, but it's coming up on August 15th. You should have gotten an email that shows what your total due is if you don't get rid of your inventory. So now is the time to look at your stuff, look at your inventory, figure out what needs to be repriced, what do you need to dump. Making $2 regardless. This is the time where you forget about what you paid for something. You're probably going to end up paying more to keep it because if you've had it for a year, a year. If you've had it for a year and it hasn't sold, yeah, thank you, Darla. If you could put that link up there, I'd appreciate it. If you've had it for a year and it has not sold, or not all of your inventory is sold, chances are it's not worth paying the long-term storage fee to try to sell it over the next year. It's time to dump it. It's time to get rid of your stuff. That's my suggestion. Lower the price. Forget what you paid for it. That's what I started to say. Forget your cost of goods because that's sunk cost. It's gone. Okay, that money is gone. You might as well get what you can out of it because worst case scenario, you're going to pay fees on it. Best case scenario, if it doesn't sell, you pay 50 cents to get a return to you or 15 cents to get it destroyed. I'd rather make $5 on something regardless what I paid for it. What you paid does not matter. I'd rather get $5 for it myself than to pay to have it destroyed. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at these items that have been in your possession at the warehouse for over a year. This is not fast turns. This is not even long-term hold. This is super extraordinary bad selling stuff. Because if you only have one of something, you can have a single item. So if you have that one collectible that you're like, hey, if I have to hold it for 2 years to get $1,000 for this action figure, I'm okay with that. You won't pay any fees on that. But if you have more than one in stock, that's what you have to pay fees on. Yeah, Reed, if you only have one book, a single copy of a book, they won't charge you long-term storage fees on that. This is something that you have 2 or more in stock. That's where you'll pay the the fees. So you have some bad buys out there. Now's the time to start cleaning up. Dump price, know what has to sell, and like Bob said, they implement on the 14th sometimes. So hey, by about the 10th, you should really know whether you're going to keep these things or not. Okay, so now's the time. We get off the spree cash sometime between now and maybe over the weekend, next 4 or 5 days. Get in there, take a look at your long-term storage fees. Look at your email. Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you, Bob. I wasn't sure about that. Different conditions, I guess, count. Even if they're the same book but different condition, then you're going to get long-term storage fees. And yes, run your inventory health report. That'll help show you. Watch your emails. That'll help you. All right. It's by Asen. Excellent information. Bob's full. See, Bob, you need to get back on some kind of platform. You've got too much information not to be telling people. But I do appreciate you sharing here and in the coaching group. Invaluable in both places. So thank you, sir. Let's see. So yeah, I think that pretty much does it. Everyone understands long-term storage fees and what's involved and what you need to do. Doesn't look like we have any questions on that. So, all right. Oh, Daniel just Daniel asked the question that everybody wants to know and is not going to like the answer to. How can I edit my MSKU after I already made the listing and have inventory? You can't. It's that simple. You can make a new MSKU. You can relist that same product with a different MSKU. You cannot edit it. And if it's at FBA already, there are some things that you can do, like predate the ones that you're sending under the new MSKU. So, there's an on-sale date. If you want to send the same item under a new MSKU and sell it the same way, because you are allowed to have 2 different MSKUs for sale at the same time as long as they're not the same way, both MF or both FBA. You can have one MF and one FBA. If you're going to change it, send it to Amazon, but make your sale date predate or post-dated, predated. I don't know, make it in the future is what I'm saying. So make it December 1st. Then when your current MSKU sells out, that's when you would go back in, change your sale date to the current date, and your new MSKU will be the listing. Post date. Thank you, Charlene. Yeah. I need help. You guys are great. Because, predate, post date, I don't know the difference. All I know is you want to make it in the future. So hopefully that makes sense. I think I explained that at least semi-okay, so you get it. As in post-dated checks. I never post-dated checks. I've heard that term. I just never knew exactly what it meant. I guess that's when you write a check, but you can't cash it until a future date. Got it. Makes sense now. So I just got to talk through this stuff. Does anyone apply to items stored for, does this apply to items stored for over a year? Mike Capel. Yes, sir. If your item was in place for at least 1 year at the time of the long-term storage fee taking effect, then yes, you will be charged. So long-term storage fees come into play twice a year. Once is in February, once is in August. So if your item was in place prior to August 15th, then yes, you will be charged long-term storage fee. So that could be anywhere from February 16th up until August 14th. All that inventory that has now gone at least a full year plus is eligible for long-term storage fees. And Sherry Smith says, play it smart and you can get 15 months and 30 days. I'll take your word for that. That's probably about right. Duane, you may need to do a video for the coaching group on automated removals. Can't read the rest of it. Waiting for it to come up. There we go. Or Chris Green did a video on this 18 months ago. Actually, I'd like to Chris does a great job with that stuff, but I've got so much going on right now, I don't know if I can make any more videos. I will try. If I need to, I can go in there and maybe do it in just a few minutes. So yeah, either that or probably be quick. Probably be quicker to make my own video than it would be to go in and get Chris's. I don't know. Coin toss. Depends how well I do. Depends how much editing I would have to do. Anyone know why I cannot hear this freecast, but I can hear old ones? Can someone tell Double D to refresh, maybe? I don't know. I'll let you guys work tech support over there in the corner. Do you sell replens during fourth quarter, Rowan Falconer? Another excellent question. I did not last year. Okay, I got so caught up in with buying toys and sending them in just off the shelf because they were selling for so much more than I was buying them for. You know, I found those hot toys. Crayola marker makers were good for a little while, but they're a great example. They were, $20 at the store, and they were selling between $35 and $40 on Amazon, which isn't a great return, but they were ranked seriously like number 22 or something in toys. I mean, they were flying. So I got so caught up in that, I didn't have time to reorder my toothpaste. I just saw where the bigger selling items with the easier returns were. So I don't think that it's a bad idea to keep up with your replens. I just found it very hard to do. It's so hard to describe what Q4 is to somebody who hasn't been through it. Think about Rowan, what's your best day on Amazon? And here's how I'll compare it. The other day we did 1,400 in sales, and I said, that may be the best day I've ever had. I don't know. Let me go back and look. And I looked at last December. Well, last December we had 2 days of 1,600 and several days of 1,000, and most days were between 600 and 800. So we did 22,000 in sales. So that December was so outside of our norm. I mean, every day was basically our best day ever. It was insane. So trying to keep up with replens while you're just selling that much inventory, doing that much shipping, just I said Sherry, didn't I? It's Cherie. Cherie Smith. Cherie, I am so sorry. You're right, I did. I got it wrong. It's Cherie. I apologize. And I know that. I know that. I'm so sorry. It's Cherie Smith, everybody. It is not Sherry, it's Cherie. But hopefully that just gives you some idea of the sheer volume you will do. So I went from an average day being maybe $200 to an average day being six, 700, whatever it comes out to. I mean, it was 22,000 that we made in December, and pretty much all of that was in the 3-week span, because you don't sell a lot. You sell a little bit, but you don't sell a lot after December 23rd, December 24th. So really, it's that 3 weeks that's right there that are just insane. And then, of course, you back it up a little bit. November's very, very good. And you back it up a little further, and October for us it was okay. Now, maybe we'll do a little better this year. But I didn't have time to keep up with toothpaste and, the salad spinners that were kind of a semi-replen at the time, or the, oh Lord, I don't even remember what I was selling. Things have changed so much. But, yeah, that's an excellent point, Bob. Also takes a lot of capital to keep replenishables in stock during Q4, in addition to everything else you sell during Q4. Now, how many more shipments did you do when it was crazy in Q4? I don't know. As many as I possibly could. I have no idea. I could go back and pull the reports, but that is not something I can tell you off the top of my head. I would definitely have to go back and research that. To give you guys just some perspective from my personal business, we on average do between about 400 and 600 sales, 400 to 600 items per month. Okay, not huge, but it's decent. We're happy. 400 to 600. So that's 8,000, roughly 8,000 to 12,000 a month in sales. Last year I was keeping about 600 items, not SKUs, 600 items in stock at any given point. And I would just continually roll through those. I have started something very new this year. And yes, it's only July, but right now we have over 1,400 items in stock. Why? Because along the way, I've done a couple of things. One, I've realized I don't need money the way I did last year. When I was building, and I just couldn't get enough revenue. I mean, every dime and we were growing. We had a lot of revenue, don't get me wrong, but I didn't have enough where I could just afford to kind of sit back and stockpile for fourth quarter. I had to make sure that this stuff that I was spending money on today was going to come back to me in 2 weeks, a month at the most. I needed that turnaround. Fast turns came out of necessity. Mother of invention, right? Now, I know I did not invent fast turns. People have been doing this stuff long before I even knew FBA existed or that Amazon sold anything besides books. People have been doing this business model forever. I just happened to coin the term in a popular little setting. But I didn't have extra income where I could buy 20 Nerf guns and just set them on the shelf because Cherie Smith said, hey, Nerf guns are on sale at Kohl's. Sweet. This year, I said, that's, I think it was like a $400 order. I can handle that. I've got several $1,000s allocated to inventory. I'm not doing a lot of sales right now. This was back in June where I told you I pretty much took May and June off. And so I had a lot of money sitting there, and I said, you know what? That's going to be a great fourth quarter toy. It's Nerf. It's big. It feels expensive. You just know it's going to do well. So I was okay with that. And if they sell in the meantime, I'm okay with that too. I'm not going to get mad that something sold, that's for sure. But that's 20 items that I have no intention of selling unless it's through MCF on eBay or something, or somebody just decides to pay my crazy high price that I have them at. Unless one of those two scenarios happen, I'm sitting on them until December. But in December, I know it's going to move. And I've done that with a lot of products that I could afford throughout the year, especially in the last couple of months, where I could stockpile. I could get my inventory there. And that way, when fourth quarter comes this year, I'm not actually going to be selling and restocking and rebuying my entire inventory like I was last year. I've got a lot of stuff already there ready to sell. It's ready to go. I can only do that because I have a sizable budget. Now, my budget kind of takes a hit when my Jetta goes out. That kind of stinks. I might have to withdraw a little more money than I expected to. But anyway, that's how I explain Q4 and the different philosophies and just how crazy it is and how you can better prepare for it when you have more money. Yeah. Be aware that the time to get inventory to Amazon and then get it checked in slows to a crawl in December. Yeah, guys, just in case you don't remember, last year was a disaster for Amazon and UPS as a service. Amazon was pointing the finger at UPS, UPS pointing the finger at Amazon, and the customer was the one that lost in the end. It was huge. There were all kinds of packages not being delivered. Prime is supposed to be 2 day, right? Free 2 day. You'd buy something Prime and it'd show like 3 days before you could get the delivery. So what kind of lead time is safe? Robert Watson, Maureen Benner has a perfect book that answers that question. She seriously lays out every holiday in the fourth quarter and gives you the dates on the calendar for you to set up your lead times. But I mean, if you want to do it by hand, you can. I read her book, and that was one of the things she pointed out, and I just love that idea. So your lead times are going to be, I'd say roughly, this is just a rough estimate. I would allow probably 2 weeks in a week at the very least for your stuff. If I want to sell something if I want to sell something by Wednesday, I have to ship it out on Friday. That's a bad example. Let's say by Thursday. For me, if I want to sell something, I want it to be there and selling by Thursday. I have to ship it on Monday because Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be en route. It's going to be live Thursday. We get to fourth quarter. If I want it selling by this same Thursday, I better have shipped it last Thursday. And if I shipped it last Monday, that's even better. Do Do you do more inventory placement during Q4? I've never used inventory placement. Never once. And I would not do inventory placement during Q4. That's for sure. You don't want your stuff going to one warehouse and then being transshipped to other warehouses and not available for use. So I would not suggest inventory placement. I would also not suggest, and this is something that I need to cover real quick. I always tell you guys, if you send 20 of something, or not you, if I send 20 of something of a standard size item at the same time, it always goes to AVP1. Not true anymore. They've started splitting up my 20 items into 3 different shipments. That bothers me now. That is exactly what I want in Q4. I want my inventory in place and on sale as quickly as possible. Yeah, and Michael, I did some case packs. Now, my case packs went to AVP1, but my standard items over 20 got split up the other day for the first time, I think, ever. And I'd actually had just a small 20-item order. that was my expected entire order, and I was like, sweet, I got 20 of them. I'll put them in one box, and it'll be gone. I split it into 3. About that long, I considered going with inventory placement, but I didn't feel like dealing with it, and the cost was minimal anyway because they were light boxes. That was in kitchen and dining. So, but come Q4, you do not want that to happen. At least I don't. You can do it if you want to. Q4, I want my stuff hit in the warehouse and for sale that day. I mean, that's it. I don't want it to go to AVP1 so that it can be dispersed all throughout the country. Not at all what I want. That I want exactly the opposite. All right. Do we have any? I was going to say we got to have at least a couple Q4 questions in here. I kind of figured. What do you use to keep track of your inventory, especially for year-end cost of goods reporting to the IRS? I hate answering these questions. I just tell you, I never understood why people hesitated to answer questions like this until I started answering questions like this. Because what I do, 1, is not necessarily right, and 2, is not necessarily what you should do. Yeah, disclaimer time. You're dead on, Robert. I'm not a tax professional. I am a seller on Amazon who does things the way I do them. I can't tell you how to run your business. All I can do is tell you how I run my business. I am in no position to tell you how to do taxes and do your accounting and bookkeeping. All that said, what I do, I load my bank statements into QuickBooks. And when I have expenses, I do cash basis accounting. When I have expenses, when I buy a product, that's my expense. That's my cost of goods. I denote that in QuickBooks as purchase for resale, I think is what I had. So when I go into my purchases for resale, and I might even have it cost of goods purchase for resale, I forget exactly. Anyway, when I pull that category up, I can see my year-end cost of goods. There, that's how much I paid for the stuff. And then I look at my income. There's all my payouts. Here's all my disbursements. There's my stuff. There's my cost of goods. Here's my income. Oh yeah, by the way, here's my office supply expenses. Here's my gas expenses. If you choose to do that, I actually just show mileage so I don't track my gas expenses. But yeah, I can't give you the best way. That's just how I do it. So that's the best I can tell you. I don't over-report. Bob says no report gives it to you. You download, put into X. No report gives it to you. You download, put in Excel, and have to total the columns for true inventory cost on hand year end. Yes, that you can request to download at the end of the year also. People have done that. I didn't do it. Yeah, plain and simple. I didn't do it. I think it's a great idea. I didn't do it. So, but yeah, you can download your year-end report, and you can go through the Excel process, and you can figure it out. That is totally between you and your CPA. How do you account for Amazon fees? You can actually pull David Payne says, how do you account for Amazon fees, cost of goods, fees, shipping, and profit? You can actually pull a report that shows your Amazon fees, and you can break those out. That's in my coaching group. I have a video, and you can pull it for any time frame that you want. So you can pull your Amazon fees for all of last year. Again, I did not break those down individually. Last year, I took my 1099 that Amazon sent me. I pulled that fees report, and I gave it all to my accountant. I said, here's the 1099 that they gave me. I think it was like 108,000 maybe or something. But anyway, round it off. Here's my 100,000 in sales. Looks great. Yeah, here's all the fees that they charged me. Here's all the cost of goods that went into that. And yes, I will pay taxes on whatever was left over. I honestly don't remember what it was. Probably $30,000. I was running about a 30% return last year, or a 30% profit margin. So you don't account for that in QuickBooks. No, QuickBooks, I just take my income. My disbursement goes into my bank account. So the fees are already taken out. Okay, my cost of goods are not taken out, but my Amazon fees are taken out because my disbursement is my disbursement is my sales minus fees. And then I have to take the cost of goods out of that myself. That is tracked in QuickBooks. I don't know if this is making sense. Like I said, I don't feel comfortable talking about this because I can't tell you that that's the right way to do it. And yeah, net payment. So yeah, we're getting paid after fees. If you want to track it further, you want to break all that stuff down, anybody is welcome to. A lot of work for $30,000. Craig, it was a lot of work for $30,000. I also started with $1,500. So yes, I agree. It is a lot of work for $30,000. That's why this year, we're going to do much better. I started with $1,500 and built that business by itself year over year. And Charlene says that's what bookkeepers and accountants are for. Charlene, I totally agree. I couldn't agree more. I probably should forecast some cash for one. It's not my favorite thing to do, that's for sure. Disbursement is income for the LLC. That may very well be true. Yeah, because then I actually pay myself. That's different this year, too, because now I'm an LLC. So, yeah, the LLC gets a disbursement, and then that's different than the pay that I actually get. Is this your main income now? Yeah, this is my only income. The FBA and the coaching are my two sources of income. Yeah, so I do have the coaching group that does provide a steady, nice income. I have the FBA that also provides a nice steady income. Put the two together, and I'm doing pretty well. I do better overall than I did with AT&T. So, and I'm much happier. And I get to hang out with you guys on Wednesday nights. When I was at AT&T, I was not doing this. So, quality of life is better, income is better, and just overall, I wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, that's don't misunderstand, Craig. 30,000. That was first year income. I am building an online marketing learning resource for small businesses in the UK. That's cool. I wish you luck with that. I am not an online marketer. Can't believe I'm forgetting his name. I see his picture I can see his Facebook picture in my head right now. Anyway, there's a reason I had him do some sales copy for me. Yeah, James Foster. There we go. Doing some sales copy for me because he's a marketer. And then Darla came through with it. No, not Jim Cockrum. No, James Foster is actually doing some copy for me because I'm not a marketer. I can't do online stuff. But this is so interesting what you guys do. Man, I appreciate you just watching. And even if you're not doing FBA, that's cool. I understand. I'm just glad you're here, and maybe it'll give you some ideas. Not that you go jump into FBA, which, by the way, FBA in UK is very popular, but just the business principles, just talking about business, just sitting in a room full of entrepreneurs. There are people here from all kinds of backgrounds. This is not just about FBA. I think you'll get some inspiration, some interesting conversations. This time next year, I will be talking about how Duane Malek coached me through leaving my job. Sonia, I hope so. Oh, I hope so. That would. I think I've only had one person so far tell me that they quit their job after taking my coaching. But man, that's a pretty awesome feeling. That is, and Sonia, man, I hope that's true. If that's what you want, if your goal is to leave your job, I hope I can help you do that. I think I can. So I'll be interested to see. A lot of good information that goes on in the coaching. And speaking of which, the online sales copy, all that, I do want to let you guys know, finishing touches aren't on it yet. I'm going to work my butt off tomorrow because we are launching Darla's wholesale course on August 1st. So we still don't have any links for it. You guys will just have to hit up the Fast Turn Radio group, and you'll get the links. And Fast Turn Coaching, you'll get the links. So right now I can't give you the links because it's not 100% ready to go. I got to fill in some details, but all the videos are loaded. The sales copy is done. It's just finishing touches. And let's see, what is it going to be called? I've got it right here on a piece of paper. Advanced Sourcing Wholesale Style by Darla Flack. So that's what you will see. Very, very excited to launch that with Darla. And seriously, it's changed how I do my job. It changed how I source products. So it's pretty cool. It's a great course. Looking forward to launching it with her. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. Hopefully a lot of people learn a lot of good stuff because that's what this is all about. It's just about helping people. That's what we all want to do. That's why we do Spreecast. Duane, at what point should we be upping our prices for Q4? B, that's a good question, and like so many others. Oh my goodness, so many. It depends. It totally depends. You up your prices for Q4 when I would say, I'm trying to think if there's another scenario. I'll tell you the only scenario that I'm doing it under. Yeah, there are two parts. One, you have the budget to hang on to the stuff. Okay, that's first and foremost. You have to have the budget to be able to just hang on to inventory. Two is the current selling price is below what you deem acceptable for the product. So right now, those Nerf guns that I paid like $18 for, all right. Those Nerf guns I paid $18 for. They're currently selling for $32. They're oversized. I would make, I think, a couple of bucks a piece if I sold them now. That is an unacceptable return for me on that product. So I have priced them for Q4 because I'm not willing to sell them now, and I know they're going to sell well in Q4. And I have that other piece of the puzzle, which is I have a little bit of budget where I can afford to hang on. Now, seriously, I'm joking about the car, but only a little bit. If it turns out that I need money for the car and that $400 in inventory that I have just sitting there waiting for Q4, if I decide, hey, I really need that money, I'll dump those Nerf guns in a heartbeat. I'll shoot them out the door. I couldn't care less. So to me, that's the only time it makes sense to price for Q4. And by pricing for Q4, I mean well above what your competition's at. Now, if your competition is already at the Q4 level you want it to be at, then price for the buy box and sell the stuff tomorrow. But that's how I look at it. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have any more follow-up questions, fire away. No pun intended with old Nerf gun talk. All right, is it still okay to use existing multi-pack listings, my own or other sellers, according to the new policy, or does it only does it only affect the creation of new multi-packs? For me personally, I say it only affects creating new multi-packs. If there's one created that I didn't, if there's one created, I don't mind listing on it. Am I going to create one that is outside of policy? Not a chance. There's no way. There's just not happening. It's not worth it. And it's so easy to bundle in place of multi-packing. Add that one little something, and now it's a bundle instead of a multi-pack. And now you're adhering to policy. You're following all the rules, and you're total compliance. Nothing to worry about. You start using your own UPC for a product that's not in health and personal care, or really your own UPC for any multi-pack, that's a violation. If you use the same UPC for a multi-pack and it's not in health and personal care, that's a violation. Well, why mess with all that? Do things the right way and just keep within the guidelines. So, but if something's already out there and you go find it, you have almost no way of knowing who created it. No, you have no way of knowing who created it. You have almost no way of knowing whether it was created properly or not. You can try to search the UPC, I guess, and find out if they used the correct UPC or not. If you don't feel comfortable listing on something that it has been improperly done recently, then that's fine. You got to understand, 6 months ago, if you were listing in grocery, you would be able to use that grocery UPC over and over again to create multi-packs. And that's what we all thought we were supposed to do. So you may find a grocery multi-pack that was made completely legitimately 6 months ago, but is no longer a legitimate listing if it were created today. That would not stop me from listing on that product, on that listing. So yeah, another long answer to a very simple question. Use the ones that are already in place. Don't make your own. When there are multiple listings of a product and Amazon is one of them, and they will eventually put them, let's see, this is from Jason Wilkie. Sorry, I should read who's asking these. That was Daniel Kretz with that last question. Jason Wilkie asks, when there are multiple listings for a product and Amazon is on one of them, and they will eventually put them all into one, do you still play with fire by listing on it if you are making bank? I tend not to, but that doesn't mean I won't. And, I have one right now that there's competing listings, but I can make money on both. So I am on one with Amazon, and I am on that same product listing without Amazon. That's priced a little bit higher. And, not obviously, but in this case, the one with the lower price that Amazon is on is a faster seller, but at a lower price. A little slower seller, but a higher price on the other. And I'm listed on both. Will they combine it into one at some point? Yeah, I would imagine that they will. Should I notify them? Probably, but I don't feel like it. I'm just going to let it ride for now. So I'm not going to tell them to combine listings. They probably will eventually. But I don't mind being on both because I can make money on both sides of it as it is. Okay? That's totally different than if I can make money on this one that's priced really high, but maybe not quite as fast a mover. Or here's the one with Amazon and I lose money. Well, now if they get combined, you just got crushed. That's a whole different scenario. That to me is where you're putting a lot of risk in for maybe not so much reward. But if you're selling 5 of these a day and making $10 a piece, hey, you can afford to wait it out and see if anybody ever combines those listings or not. It's another one of those depends. It really does come down to how fast are you selling, what your risk tolerance is, and can you make money if they do get combined. If you can't make money, don't go so deep. If you can still make money either way, hey, go deep on both. Pull up your reports, see how many you've sold in the last 30 days, and go put 15 or 30 days worth in stock. And worst case scenario, they combine the listings, you still make a little money. If you're going to get crushed by the listings being combined, due diligence is definitely in order. You want to run the numbers, you want to see what your risk tolerance is, and see what's it look like when I lose all of this. That's the way I run the risk tolerance kind of scenario is, okay, if I lost all this money, what then? What's everything look like? So I put $500 in, the listings get combined, I lose $500. How does that affect my business? Obviously, I don't like it, but it doesn't kill it. $5,000. If I put that in and I lose it, what happens? Not only don't I like it, I can't afford to take that kind of hit. $10,000, whatever your limits are, you got to kind of judge for yourself how much risk you can afford to put out there. And then I think you have the answer to your question. Can you change a shipment from in-placement default after you've already started adding products to the shipment? I don't believe so. I assume you're using inventory. Oh, yeah. Oh, in-placement. Yeah, inventory placement. Gotcha. So you started building a shipment using inventory placement, and now you want to make it non-inventory placement. No, I would go in and delete all those products. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's going to just apply it to those shipments all the way across. What I would do, delete it all, delete the products, delete the shipments, turn inventory placement off, and go back in and rebuild. I think that's probably your best scenario. If you had $1,000 to invest in Q4 inventory before November, how would you allocate it? 100% toys? ? I would wait for the deal to show itself to me. That's exactly what I've done. I wouldn't say I'm going to go buy that with $1,000. I'm not going to go to that category. I'm going to say that's a great deal. It's a good deal now. That's a great fourth quarter deal. How do you know it's a great fourth quarter deal? It's got name branding. It's a toy is an excellent seller. Gifty items. There you go, Bob. That's a great answer. Something that's seasonal. Christmas sells all year round, but it definitely sells better in November. So if you can I would look for a great deal, a good deal now that will turn into a great deal fourth quarter. The Nerf guns, again, are the perfect example. I think that's going to be a great fourth quarter deal. It's a good deal now, or it was a good deal. Now it's totally tanked, but it'll come back slowly, 35, 40. Nah, it might not hit 60 at Christmas, but will it hit 50? It might. Will it hit 40? Definitely. Is it worth hanging on for an extra $5 or $6? $10? Yeah, why not? We'll give it a shot. And yeah, another great point, Bob. You make money when you buy. So buy a great deal and enjoy fourth quarter. That's it. That pretty well sums it up. You're looking for that deal that's good now or great now. It's going to be even better in the fourth quarter. If it's good now, it will be great in the fourth quarter. Yeah, tools, kitchen books, etc. Yeah, think about the handyman. I mean, we want tools. I've had entire tool Christmases. That's all I wanted. I just wanted tools. So, hey, if you go to Lowe's or Home Depot and they've got something clearance priced where you can make some money now, you better believe you're going to make a lot of money later. Yeah, and use the Kohl's flip process to lower cost of goods on everything. Yeah, if you are in my coaching, you took the Kohl's flips course, you have at least a pretty good idea of how you can apply that same philosophy across the board. And it applies to in-store, online. It works. It's just all about stacking deals with deals. Mike Brem says, underwear and socks. Yeah. Kohl's flip course. Yes, Carol. That's in the coaching. I think you saw it. I say it's a course. It's, a 45-minute video on some of the Kohl's flips that I pulled and how to make those flips work. So yes, Carol, you've got all the information. You got the magic. Are we sending our underwear to Duane? Yes, but only if it's 1 with tags and 2 with flash. That's right. So if it's not flash and if it doesn't have tags, I don't want it. But if you got flash with tags, hey now, that's good times. It's right here. That's right. I keep them right there on the shelf. You didn't know they're always within arm's reach. And Cherie is blushing. And no, I don't accept used anymore. And I don't even want, don't even send me used collectible. Okay, I don't want collectible underwear. I want new. It's a new only. It's kind of like baby. You can only sell new. There is no used. And vintage. Yeah, we don't want vintage either. All right, so we're through all that. We didn't even get to listings. All right, I'm going to touch on this real quick because I do think it's extremely important, and this will be the last thing. Recently, I've had some weird stuff going on with listings that I've created. I created a listing, and then I copied it, just like I was told on this Spreecast by Maureen Benner, Shar. It might have been a couple other people that said, hey, you have to create the original listing to be able to copy it to a new listing. Because I had tried copying listings in the past, and I said it didn't carry over keywords and descriptions and title. It didn't carry anything over. Well, sure enough, I created a listing, and then I copied to a new listing, and most of the information carried over, but some of it didn't, namely my keywords. And I thought, well, that's weird. It should have been here, or at least I thought it should. So I go back to the original listing. All my keywords were gone off that listing too. And I didn't, it kind of baffled me for a minute. And I went in, sure enough, I added those keywords. And I should have known because I was selling a brand new bundle and it sold right away. Started selling immediately. And then no sales. Totally went out. Should have realized something happened. But I got the keywords, set the keywords, sales took right off. I mean, same day, sales took off again. I went, all right, sweet, we're back in the game. And then the other day, sales stopped again. And I thought, well, okay, let me go ahead and run an ad for these. I don't know why it keeps starting and stopping. I checked, my keywords were there. And so I start to run an ad through Amazon Ads, and it says uneligible. So I said, why? Why is this not eligible to run ads? It should be. And it says it's suppressed. Now, this is a listing that I sold, it stopped. I sold, it stopped. Why is it not eligible to run an ad? Why is it suppressed? I go in, and my category's gone. It's no longer categorized. And the one that I copied, copied to make the new listing of a basically same one but a different, no category for that one either. Now, and the funny thing is, it still showed the rank of the category that it was in. Now, I'll tell you that it was a toy. So next to the product that I sell, that I'm the only seller of, that it shows rank in toys on my main listing page or on my inventory page, but over to the side, it's suppressed, and it's suppressed because there's no category. So someone please tell me where in the world that went, because I have no idea. Rowan Faulkner, can you point me to a good resource that shows how to create my own product page? I believe there is one that I have not actually watched through Amazon. And I'll tell you, I have one that I made for my coaching. Outside of that, I honestly do not know. So if you go to Amazon, I think they show you. You want to join my coaching? You can do that too. I'll give you step-by-step of how I do it. And I think I make pretty good listings now, which is amazing because I, for the longest time, hated making listings. But that's my honest response to you is you can join my coaching. It will show you step-by-step how to create a bundle listing, parent-child listing, or single item listing, which is the same as the bundle listing without the bundle. And if you would like to join, it's right there, DuaneMalikCoaching.com. Craig said, good for you, there's no free food. Yeah, I'm getting better at marketing my own stuff. Because you know what? I figured out that it's good stuff. And I guess that was my hesitation for a long time, is maybe I didn't believe in my own product. You know, it was hard for me to accept money from people because I didn't feel like I had done enough to deserve the money or to earn their trust. And I've come to believe that is not the case, that I have built something of great quality and value, and the people in the group have. You know, it's not just me by any means. Michael Flanagan, Darla, I say it every week, Bob, Shar, you guys are all great. You contribute a ton to the group. Carol, always in there asking questions, starting conversations, great cheerleader, keeps things rolling. So, yeah, and Craig, thank you, sir. From what I've heard tonight, you've added value in a USP. I don't know what USB is, but cool. Anyway, so the whole thing about the bundling and the images, or not the images, the categorization. Oh, unique selling proposition. See, shows you how much I know about marketing, guys. I want you to be aware of your listings. Make sure that if you created a listing, if you see something funky with the sales stream, you know, it was selling, and then it just stops. There's something going on. Look for the fact that it's been suppressed. Make sure that your title is still there. Make sure your images are still there. Images have been an issue in the past also. Oh, thank you, Reed. Reed said, coaching is well worth the money. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. Duane has trained me, sent him some awesome deals via PM. Yeah, Cherie, you sent me some great deals. And I hope I've been able to return the favor with some information here and there. You've been selling forever, though. You know this stuff. Yeah, so people are telling me to charge more. I am going to charge. The price is going up a little bit. But is stranded the same as suppressed? Oh, good question. No, it's not. Stranded inventory means it is it's in your inventory, but it's not for sale for some reason on Amazon, though other products, other people are selling the same product. So stranded means, yes, they're at the warehouse, but for some reason they're not being sold. Yeah, in limbo. There you go. So they're at the warehouse, but they're not being sold. Suppressed is they're at the warehouse, they could be sold, but something's wrong with the listing. The listing has to be fixed before we will allow the public to. Suppressed means it's not searchable. Okay, that's the best way I can put it. If your listing is suppressed and somebody goes into Amazon and types your exact title to the word, they will never find it. It is not open for the public to find. Stranded means the listing is there. People can find the listing. They just can't find your product. Excuse me, your product on that listing. So two totally different things, two totally different ways to handle them. It is not the same. Bob, stranded is usually in one database, but not both. All inventory and FBA fulfills. There you go. Duane, thanks for the compliment, but never hesitate to send me a PM anytime. Cherie, I will PM you if I ever have something that I go, Cherie needs to know about this. I will send you a PM, I promise. All right, guys, that's it. Just want you to be aware. Teresa came up with another question. Do you use Pinterest? There it goes. Do you use Pinterest or advertise your products outside of Amazon? No, I hate that kind of stuff. I don't like SEO. I don't like Pinterest. I don't like Facebook for running ads and that kind of thing. I mean, I love to interact with you guys on Facebook, but I do not love Facebook as a marketing platform. So I don't do, like I said, the SEO stuff. I don't do pay-per-clicks through AdWords. I do a little bit of Amazon ads, which is pay-per-click. But no, I don't drive traffic. If that's your thing and you're good at it, from what I understand, it can be very effective. It's just not my thing. And I decided when I quit AT&T, I said, I'm not doing stuff I don't like to do anymore. Now, do I stick to that 100%? No, sometimes I have to pack a box that I don't feel like packing. But do I hate packing? No, I don't hate packing, so I'll do it. Do I hate SEO? Do I hate trying to drive traffic from Pinterest over to Amazon? Yes, I do hate that, so I do not do it. That's my answer. There are probably a lot of other people that can tell you that it's worked effectively and tell you exactly how to do it. Just not me. All right, last thing. If you want to get the 20-minute warning to the Spreecast start time, text Fast Turn to 71441 to get a reminder 20 minutes prior. Just get a text. Says, hey, Fast Turn Radio is coming up. Now, depending on what goes on with Spreecast, that may be changing in the future, but right now that's an effective way to get a reminder. So I think I touched on everything I wanted to cover tonight. An hour and 13 minutes, not bad. Thank you all so much for being here. 70 people. I'm telling you, the audience is still coming around. That's good. Yeah, I know it's kind of the dog days, but man, you guys are showing up in droves, and I appreciate it. So, all right, guys. Thank you for being here. Cherie, David Payne, Bob Willie, Karen, Enduring Bamboo, always good to see you. Carol in the crowd, Robert Watson with his snippy little comments here and there, keeping things lively. Debbie Williamson, thank you for being here. Darla, thank you so much for producing as always. And Daniel, I see you out there. Sonia, going to help you out. Good night, guys. Appreciate you being here. See you next week.